Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. Just you and I today. We have the shop to ourselves. The boys are off at the other location setting up. And once we have things up and running, we'll take a tour and we'll start doing things over there. But it is quiet, almost too quiet. Anyway, this video is geared towards the DIY on a budget, under 10 bucks. Under $5, you may be able to do what I show you here today. For those of you and those of us that have trunk and cargo areas, maybe the hatch of an SUV that smell like an old rubber boot filled with abscessed teeth, all the stuff that can spill, including milk and groceries and chemicals and anything we haul, it can get nasty back there. And boy, the materials that are in your cargo areas, the entry-level materials, the plastic and the carpeting, are just horrible to work with. And what I'm going to show you here today should make it easier for you and rather cheap to freshen up. This thing might look familiar. This is the Mustang GT I picked up for my son to learn how to drive stick. He's already picked it up, so this one might be hitting the road soon, and I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I could end up giving it away to a subscriber here on the channel. So stay tuned with that. I got to get the title back first. So, and we need to do some work on it as well. Need to freshen up the interior. We're going to start with the trunk back here. The first area we want to start with, obviously, the bottom lid of the trunk and these troughs back here, the sills where debris, tree, fallout, whatever, bushes, leaves, settle in these areas. You want to keep these areas clean as often as you can, good friends. The moisture and all the gunk that this holds in can really start some trouble. And Ford, I'm going to bring you in close and show you, Ford already knew this, and they put some sort of epoxy down on top of the paint to keep things at bay that may settle in there, especially all of the moisture. So we're going to start there. Might as well get that clean because some of that stuff can splash or fly into the trunk. So we'll do that last, and we'll start that with a thorough vac. Underneath the lid of the trunk, mostly it's light dirt, some water spots. For the most part, you can wipe that with a damp microfiber. It's these areas in here. That's where the muck and the moisture can lie, build up, and rot those areas. You can see the epoxy or whatever Ford put in here, and it's just heavily stained and messed up from all of the growth and the buildup. And we want to clean that up and keep these areas clean. You can see back there a little bit of rust starting. And once those areas are clean, we're going to get in the trunk area. The little tree here didn't help very much. It smells awful. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to address is underneath the trunk deck lid here, and just hot water, warm water, a rinseless wash, a waterless wash if you already have it, and a couple old microfiber towels. Nothing really can build up in these areas that can't be removed with just a little warm or hot water and a damp microfiber towel. If there is buildup that is hard to get off, well, what in the world is going on back there? It's mostly just light dust and some water spotting. Most of the time, these areas are just hard surfaces, either painted or plastic. Some might have a liner back here. If it's just a liner, vac the area or blow it with forced air, or you can use The concoction I'm going to show you for the fabric of the trunk here, any of those would work. Okay, and it didn't take a lot of elbow grease to get those areas cleaned. Let's move on to the sills here. That can collect a lot of dirt and debris. Okay, so in these areas here, on a budget, you can pick up for under $4 the CLR, which is a surfactant, and it also has chemicals to break down limestone, calcium deposits, rust. So it's a cleaner and can also help with staining in these areas of buildup. And all you have to do is team it up with a brush. You're going to have to flush it with water, warm water when you're done. You don't want to let the chemical sit on these areas and just dwell the rest of the day. You want to flush them, wipe it, dry it. So just spray the CLR in there. A little bit on the brush. And agitate. It's okay if it gets on the plastics. Again, we're not going to leave this long term. As soon as we're done agitating, we'll flush with warm water or a rinseless wash and dry it from there. Quick and easy. And the difference it can make in areas like there, taking the staining away. Not sure what that is, if that's mold or some type of staining. Just a little bit of elbow grease, keep working on it, and you'll get it nice and clean. These areas right here, turning out nicely. The next step, we want to pick out any loose, large debris from the area that we don't want getting caught up in our vac. Stuff like that. Next, we want to vac up the smaller loose debris, as much of it as we can. Again, this is entry-level material, very stiff. A lot of the contaminants back here can get woven in with the fabric of the material and is difficult to remove. We're going to get to that. I'm going to show you something to make that a little bit easier for you, but let's vac out this loose debris first. As we will be reaching the hose up into the trunk, go ahead and grab a drying towel or any type of towel. Lay it over this area so it's not scraping on your bumper, on the deck lid here. Saves your paint a little bit, and then go ahead and proceed to vac thoroughly. Now, and I'm going to leave this here as I'm reaching up into the trunk to scrub and complete the next step, a belt buckle or a button. You know, you're just precautions to save the, you know. In here, we have it looking a lot better. Still smells like death, and there are some stains. And there are also some things that are still caught in the fibers, the cheap fibers of this material. I'm going to show you now a trick to get those fibers to slightly relax. And then you can either with a brush scrub it free or just vac it free and move on to the next step. So to get those really harsh, stubborn fibers just to loosen up just enough to vac out dirt or scrub out dirt from some of these materials and fabrics, all you need is something like this. And it doesn't matter what kind. I just grabbed what I had. So grab what you have and keep the job economical. This is all fabric softener. I have about 20 ounces of water in this spray bottle. And I'm just going to fill up the cap and add that to the bottle. You can do more or less if you want to. No funnels at this shop, guys. Just pour it on in there and down the bottle onto the floor. So we're going to put the top on the spray bottle, shake it up, and you're ready to go. Back over to the trunk area, and with that bottle, douse all of those stubborn materials that are holding on to the dirt. Give them 3 to 5 minutes of dwell time, and it will relax and almost hand you the dirt. No, it's not going to be that easy, but it will make life a little bit easier. And they all have a nice fragrance, so that will help with the horrible, dreadful locker slash morgue smell back here. Okay, let that dwell for about 3 to 5 minutes or so. We're going to come back in and vac again, vac thoroughly, now that things are relaxed. Okay, a few minutes later, and these fibers are relaxed like they're 37 Yingling lagers into a party. Time to vac. Okay, now we still have a little bit of staining and some of that putrid odor is still hanging around and curling the hairs of my nostrils, but what you don't see, foreign materials woven, or dirt, woven in with this stubborn material, nice and clean. Let's move on to the next step. Those of you that have followed the channel for quite some time, and years now, I don't know how long I don't know, 4 or 5 years that we've had this channel going. When this stuff came out, I started to use it for upholstery. Great odor to it, nice, fresh, clean smell. And yes, it gets your clothing, all types of clothing clean. It's also going to get the upholstery and the fabric and materials alike in your interior and your trunk and your hatch area clean and smelling good as well. So here we have another bottle. I filled it with water, and we're just going to take a cap. And what's neat about these cap, guys, hold on to them. They show you measurements in ounces, and you can use that for other jobs around your shop or home. 2 ounces or Well, that's way too overfull, but that's what we're going to use. No funnel. Pour it all in there. Hold on to that cap. Give it a good shake and we're ready to go. Simple as that. You don't have to use cold water clean. Any detergent you have laying around, I use the cold water clean. It's formulated to clean without warm or hot water, and we have cold water here. Along with our mixture, I'm just going to team it up with a brush or a microfiber. We're going to spray it in there heavily. Again, we're going to let it dwell for about 3 to 5 minutes. Let it break down some of that gunk in there. Agitate it with the brush, and then mop up with a microfiber and vac, or just go straight to the microfiber and mop it up from there. Always end up with a thorough vac. Another good idea, mist it with a little bit of water just to flush the carpeting of the surfactants in case you poured way too much of the Tide cold water clean in like I did. Even before spraying it, guys, this trunk smells so much better. And when you're finished, I think you're going to be happy. That should do it. No. More. Especially these areas here where that stuff spilled. When you're finished with this, you can lift this on out as well. If there are compartments under there, like the spare tire compartment, the odor is more than likely coming from there as well. Okay, it's been a few minutes. You can, if you have a brush, come in here and agitate those areas. Yeah, making progress. Okay, we have everything looking good, nice and clean, smelling fresh. Surrounding areas, nice and clean and shiny, without much effort, and really didn't cost a lot of money. A lot of the stuff you might have sitting around the house. That will do it for this video, guys. I showed you a quick, easy, economical way to clean and freshen up these compartments without all of these expensive doodads out there. $10,000 steamers and $15,000 extractors, not needed. Just a little bit of elbow grease and some common household items you may already have. Even if you have to go out to get them, your local grocery store for under 10 bucks, maybe under 5 bucks. This has been Brian from Apex Detail. If you're not a part of the Apex family, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We have videos flying out all the time, and I just enjoy spending a few minutes out of the day with you guys and passing along some tips. Catch you guys in the next video.